Welcome. Have you noticed the world feels different lately? In 2025, global alliances are being redrawn, and it's changing how and where you travel. We're diving into 10 countries that are redefining their relationships with the US and what that means for your next adventure. This isn't just politics. It's about your passport, your plans, and your experiences abroad. How do these shifts affect your wallet, your visa, and your travel dreams? Let's make sense of the chaos together, stay informed, and travel smarter. If you want to keep up with the world in motion, hit subscribe. Now let's get started. First up, France. In 2025, France doubled down on its Europe First policy, championing strategic autonomy. It's not anti-American, but fiercely pro-European. The visa waiver remains, but you'll feel a new national pride in the air. Expect more European brands, less American influence, and a new cultural heritage tax for non-EU tourists at major landmarks. American tech companies face tighter regulations, so you'll be using more local apps and services. The upside? A surge in authentic French cuisine and local markets, with traditional bistros thriving over fast food chains. France is investing in its own culture, and you're witnessing a nation redefining itself. Brush up on your French. Locals appreciate the effort more than ever. Visiting France now means seeing a country in the midst of transformation. You're not just a tourist, you're part of a new chapter in French identity. The travel experience is richer, more local, and more meaningful. France is still magical, just with a little more French flair. Embrace the change and enjoy the ride. Bon voyage! Next, Germany. In 2025, Germany quietly pivoted east, focusing on the EU and Asia with its Neue Ostpolitik 2.0. Trade deals now favor European and Asian partners, cooling some US ties. For travelers, this means fewer direct flights from smaller US cities and a stronger euro, so budget accordingly. On the ground, you'll see a boom in German tech and green energy, with local innovations everywhere. There's a new sense of pride in German-made products and sustainable progress. Conversations are less about America, more about Europe's future and climate tech. The vibe is polite indifference, not hostility. For visitors, Germany is more innovative and future-focused than ever. Explore green energy parks, modern architecture, and a society building its own path. It's a different flavor of progress, steady, sustainable, and uniquely German. The travel experience is evolving, and it's fascinating to witness. Germany's transformation is subtle but profound. Willkommen to the new Germany. Now to Brazil, where 2025 brought the Amazonian sovereignty doctrine. Brazil took control of Amazon conservation, stepping back from US partnerships and prioritizing local and indigenous leadership. Ecotourism is now tightly regulated. Visas require extra paperwork, and only certified local guides are allowed. American-run lodges are out. Indigenous and Brazilian-owned operations are in. The Amazon is more protected, but trips require careful planning. In cities, there's a cultural renaissance, more samba, local art, and regional cuisine. Brazil is celebrating its own identity, and travelers get a more authentic, impactful experience. Your visit supports local communities and sustainable tourism. The adventure is deeper, more meaningful, and directly benefits the guardians of the rainforest. Brazil's new path is bold, and as a traveler, you're part of a positive change. Plan ahead, respect the rules, and you'll be rewarded with a richer journey. The Amazon awaits on Brazil's terms. Welcome to Turkey, where 2025 marked a decisive pivot east. Turkey is now a regional power, forging new alliances in Central Asia and the Middle East, and emphasizing its Ottoman and Turkic heritage. For travelers, historical sites are still open, but the narrative has shifted. Expect more focus on Turkey's own empires. Security is tighter, and staying updated on regional politics is crucial. American brands are less visible. You'll see more from Turkey's new partners. The lira's volatility can make travel costs unpredictable. The Grand Bazaar is more eclectic than ever, reflecting Turkey's new connections. Visiting now means witnessing a nation reclaiming its identity and power. Turkey's crossroads are more dynamic and more complex than ever. In 2025, South Africa launched a Pan-African progressive agenda, focusing on intra-African partnerships and local empowerment. Tourism is shifting. Black-owned and community-run businesses are prioritized, making safaris and city tours more authentic. Luxury remains, but local stories and guides take center stage. The arts and culinary scenes are booming, celebrating African creativity and heritage. Travelers support a nation rewriting its narrative, moving beyond colonial tourism. Challenges remain, but your visit directly fuels positive change. South Africa is a living laboratory for a new, independent future. Your trip is more than a vacation. It's solidarity in action. Experience the pride and transformation firsthand. India, in 2025, is the master of multi-alignment, partnering with the US, Russia, and others, but always on its own terms. The country is booming, confident, and no longer just a budget destination. Expect luxury hotels, world-class wellness retreats, and a vibrant cosmopolitan culture. Travel is easier but pricier, with improved infrastructure and diverse influences everywhere. India's diplomatic balancing act creates a unique cultural tapestry: American, Russian, Chinese, and more. The days of India seeking Western approval are over. It's a rising power charting its own course. As a traveler, you witness a civilization that's both ancient and futuristic. India's transformation is complex, dynamic, and inspiring. Visit now to see a nation confidently shaping the global future. Namaste to the new India. In 2025, Mexico declared economic sovereignty, reducing U.S. dependence and forging new global partnerships. Key industries were nationalized, and local brands now dominate. For travelers, tourist hotspots remain, but there's a stronger Heco in Mexico vibe. More local pride, fewer American chains. Border crossings are slower with stricter customs and longer waits. The food scene is thriving, with chefs reviving indigenous ingredients and traditional agriculture. Your visit supports a proud, independent Mexico, eager to showcase its rich culture. The relationship with the U.S. is evolving, but the welcome is as warm as ever. Mexico is more than a neighbor. It's a nation with its own bold future. Dive into the real Mexico and savor the change. Japan's 2025 shift was subtle but historic. A new constitutional interpretation allows for a stronger, independent military. The U.S. alliance remains, but Japan is now an assertive, proactive player in Asia. For travelers, Japan is as safe and welcoming as ever, but there's a new national confidence in the air. You'll notice more pride in tradition, from samurai history to Shinto rituals. Explore beyond the tourist hotspots. Local museums and festivals are thriving. Japan is reconnecting with its past while stepping boldly into the future. The transformation is quiet, respectful, and deeply significant. Visiting now means witnessing a nation redefining its global role. Experience the new Japan where tradition meets transformation. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is reshaping the kingdom, diversifying beyond oil and forging new global alliances. The U.S. is now just one of many partners as Saudi Arabia expands ties with China and Russia. Oil is priced in new currencies, shaking up global markets. For travelers, e-visas make visiting easier, and billions are being invested in tourism. The relationship is now strictly business. No special treatment for Americans. Strict adherence to local laws is expected, even as the country modernizes. Religious tourism is managed with global tech partners, signaling independence from U.S. systems. Saudi Arabia is a nation in rapid transformation, futuristic, traditional, and complex. Visit to witness a society leaping into the future on its own terms. Australia's 2025 Pacific Step Up 2.0 shifted its focus to its own region, prioritizing climate resilience and Pacific partnerships. Resources are now invested in Oceania, not distant conflicts. The U.S. alliance remains, but Australia's priorities are local. Our house is on fire. Travelers will notice a new Pacific Conservation Levy, funding climate projects in island nations. News and conversation center on Pacific issues and climate urgency. Tour operators now offer integrated trips across Australia and neighboring islands. Visiting means supporting Australia's regional leadership and environmental efforts. The country is as welcoming as ever, but with a new sense of responsibility. See Australia and its neighborhood at the forefront of global change. 10 countries, 10 stories, 2025 is a world in motion. As travelers, we witness history and adapt to new realities. The world isn't fracturing, it's evolving, and connection is our compass. Understanding these shifts helps us travel smarter and with more empathy. If you want to keep exploring this changing world together, subscribe and join the conversation. Our connections are more powerful than any alliance. Travel safe, stay curious, and see you next time.